Hello, thank you for tuning in. For this selection, readings, the tarot cards I'm going to use are Tarot Grand Lux by Ciro Marchetti. At the top here is the website. I think his name is there too. usgamesinc.com. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you're interested. In case I didn't leave that up long enough, there's Ciro. Okay, and for the Oracle cards, your Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace, illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website on the back here is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. Hopefully that's in focus. And I can give you the rest of the information if you're interested. And I use dice. The dice I use are they're Dungeons and Dragons dice. That's from Amazon.com. I use the 20-sided dice for the major arcana, which obviously does omit 21, but still, I use it. And for the minor arcana, I use the 4-sided dice to choose the element, and then the 12-sided dice for like which number, and it goes up to knight. It excludes queen and king, but I roll with it either way, in case you're wondering. All right, with that being said, thank you, and on to your reading. Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them, but anyway, that being said, what do we have for Scorpio? I don't know what the butt was about, but... Okay. When this, I don't know, the current energy is kind of like things are fine, which is, that's not bad. Whatever the situation is, it reminds me of like somebody who makes dinner, but it's between like somewhere between 5 and 8. They make dinner somewhere between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. I never know what they're going to really make. It could be pizza. It could be a 5-course meal. It could be anything. It could be out of a can. It could be a frozen dinner. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's not so great. It's usually somewhere in the middle. But it's one of those things where it's fine. It's fine. It just kind of does what it does. It's never really bad. Sometimes it's not that great, but it's not unedible. It's not like it's burnt. It's just kind of like, oh, that was a mistake. But it's edible. I keep seeing like mushy broccoli. You know, people they boil broccoli and it gets really mushy and they don't put anything on it. It's just kind of like, you know, that would be the bad. Like, it's edible. You can eat it, but it's like, do you wanna? Versus like, you know, whatever, you know, versus like, you know, making it like in a steamer and then putting some seasoning on it and like, you know, spicing it up, jazzing it up, you know what I mean? So it fluctuates, really good, really not so good, but not the worst. When it happens, I kind of have the time frame somewhere between 5 and 8. It'll happen somewhere in there. It's dependable but random at the same time. You know what I mean? Dependable but random. And I feel like you're used to it. You're like, you know, it's the dependable part is dependable enough. It's dependable enough. You know, there's going to be food. It'll be technically edible. It might be really good. It could be. Okay. What is this? I understand that the Queen of Swords is here. It's usually communication, but there's a lot of communication with this situation. Two of Swords reversed, so there's no block. And the Tower card. So, there's no block. Communication goes back and forth. I don't really like looking at the Queen of Swords as if that's a brutal communication. And I'm saying that, but even though in this situation there might be a bit of brutality with the communication here, so I don't really like saying that, but sometimes it's there. It is. It doesn't have to be with the Queen of Swords. And that's why I'm saying that. It doesn't have to be, but seems like this time it might be appropriate. There's a lot of like, what are you doing going on? I feel like when we're doing the boiled broccoli thing with nothing added to it, it's just boiled broccoli. It's all right. It's edible. I feel like we're looking at this kind of like, it's due to lack of planning or lack of preparation or lack of ability or something like that. And there's communications going back and forth, like we could do this better, this could be good like that, maybe this, maybe that. Communication, I feel like we get along, we don't get along, we get along, we don't get along, something like that. I also feel like maybe if there's a way to make this go better, maybe, for example, if this was the situation, whoever's doing the cooking, it's kind of like there's a suggestion of maybe trying some cooking classes to understand how things work a little bit better, to have maybe some things on hand and knowing how to do that, or like what pairs with what better, stuff like that. Maybe not like a degree in cooking, but maybe a couple cooking classes just to get a little bit better at it. Maybe this is somebody who like they don't really, there's certain things they just don't do well. Like some people just don't fry well, or some people, I don't know why I'm going there with this, they like to cook everything on the stove on high. I'm personally a person that thinks that's a bad idea. I will also say I was a person that went through a phase like that a few decades ago, but I was there. Just say it's not a good idea, that's all I'm saying. So what's coming out of this is the question. It's this person that we're talking about. I think we're trying to nail this down to who this is. Obviously, it doesn't have to be cooking. That's just the analogy. But whatever it is, this is the person we're trying to hone in. This is who we're dealing with. All right, come on. Ooh, the devil comes in with the page of fire. The page of fire. Okay. Page of fire in question, which makes me wonder when I get cards, like I'm doing the dice, it's literally half in, half out. I get like the page in question is something where you're like, they're active, they're doing stuff. Is that a good thing or not? Because I'm not sure. That type of thing, you know what I mean? Like they picked up the house, but they put everything in the wrong place. So I mean, it looks better, but it's wrong. That type of thing. Is that the 10? Yeah, 10 of Wands. There's things, again, I feel like it's, again, somebody picked up the house, but they put everything away where it doesn't go. It looks neat. I can't find what I'm looking for, but it's clean. Can't find what I want, but still. I had a sibling that used to do that when I was younger. They would clean, and then you couldn't find anything. And I was just kind of like, what happened here? what happened here? It's kind of like, can't really complain about it, but I still kind of want to. That's coming in. I feel like what they're saying is don't react to it. I feel like that's what they're saying. Let me just double check that. The Sun card with the Five of Wands is conflict. You could say something and create a conflict out of this. Opportunity would come from that, but I feel like when I get the Five of Cups, it's not really the opportunity you want. I kind of feel like this is a trigger moment that you don't need to fall for. Ironically, they're saying don't do this. Don't go forward. Don't call it out. Don't whatever. Be non-reactive. You get a better outcome being non-reactive. Okay. The Eight of Swords, I'm getting like be non-reactive. It's kind of like, I guess this is how it is. That's kind of like a trap card, feeling stuck. You're not really stuck, but just kind of like not reacting seems to create a whole new opportunity. Because this is how it's playing out when I'm seeing it. They clean up the house, right? Nothing's where it's supposed to be. You can't find what you're looking for. Guess what? They can't either. Is what I'm getting. They can't either. So we're going to say, in this analogy, you both live in the same house. There's some type of repercussion for this. By you not reacting and not saying anything, I feel like they get on their own nerves. They get on their own nerves, which is kind of, that's fitting, isn't it? I mean, it takes a minute. It's going to take a minute. But they're saying just be non-reactive and let them figure out what they did on their own. It seems odd, but it will work, is what I'm getting. If this reading is hitting it, I'm getting it will work. It may be, like, how is that going to go for a Scorpio? Like, I feel like that's... High Priestess, half in, half out, and the Six of Wands, success. You're going to question if it's really the right thing to do. I feel like you're going to be in this, like, I don't know if I should be, I don't know about this. Also, leave stuff where that person put it. Ironically, leave it where they put it. Don't put it back where it's supposed to go. If you find something and you're like, that's in the wrong place, leave it where they put it. Let them deal with what they did. Kind of just treat it like, oh, I guess I thought that's what you wanted. Just, oh, that you. I'm not gonna go around and second guess you. That's what you want to do. Okay, that's what you want to do. They will get on their own nerves. That seems to create a whole new situation out of this. A whole new situation with long-term prosperity. There's this, what is that, the lifeboat? Life journey. Life journey with the Two of Pentacles. They're gonna be the one who kind of comes towards you like, we have to do something different. We gotta plan this out better. That puts you in a power position because it's their idea. They want it to happen and they want to work with you on it. It just shifts the power dynamic towards you, which I think in this situation that's better. It also it makes it easier for you to create changes and for those changes to work. Because they want that to happen, because they don't like how this is playing out, they're more compatible to what you want and actually sticking with it within reason. I also feel like whoever this person is, I think that might be their thing, that might be their jam, where they're like, you could depend on them to show up on time, you could depend on them to get the job done, but the way they do it and when they do it, like, there's kind of like a leeway. Like, it's almost like I can depend on them to show up at like 7 o'clock if I tell them they have to for whatever reason, but them getting what I need done could happen anywhere between 8 o'clock to noon to maybe a little after, but it'll get done. In the way they did it, they'd probably do it differently, so it's fine. I don't feel like that'll be a problem, but what I do need is I need them to be more like interested in actually doing it my way, whatever that is. And doing it this way, not reacting, letting them annoy themselves, they're going to be more likely to kind of align with you and do things the way you need them to be done. It just seems like it makes everything a lot better. And I feel like it's smoother sailing. Smoother. I wouldn't say it's completely smooth, but smoother than it has been going forward. You know what I mean? So, there's that. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. It should be below here somewhere and in the bottom part. If you want a reading, shoot me an email. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below too. Apparently, I just lost my brain. So, thank you for watching, and you have a great day.